Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. So we're going to be picking back up. This is going to be a part 2 for our tree farm, so we're going to pick back up where we left off, get this tree farm finished out, and then we're also going to get one other thing to help boost the power of it by a bit. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to be picking back up right where we left off in the last episode. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a couple more things here. Let's pop down. We should have plenty of saplings coming from this. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use one munch dew. And let me grab, these are going to be regular mana pools. We are going to set up some mana creation from the leaves that are being produced here. So we're going to set up, let's see, I'm going to need more spreaders. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's set up these, and I went ahead and made phantom lenses also. Actually, let's go ahead and put in our phantom lenses. And what we'll do is just set these in here, 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 and here. There's going to be straight up plain phantom lenses, and just that way they can shoot through the dirt into the spreaders up above. And then over here, we're going to have, let's see, I think I could probably make this reach. So that feeding down into there. And then we have the munch dew. And this thing does take a break. I'm only doing one munch dew right now. And that's so that we have kind of some mana generation from the leaves, but not consuming all of the leaves, because we definitely don't want to run out of saplings. But I don't think it's going to reach quite as far as what I need it to, though. Yeah. Okay, so in that case, what we're going to do, that's fine. We'll just pull this up and we will set it up. Now we're going to put it in right there. Okay, so it's now found that. And we're going to put in a phantom lens. And this is going to shoot down to there. Okay, so that's going to start producing some mana for us. Basically just from some of the excess leaves. Like I said, this does have a cooldown period of a little while after it eats some leaves. I don't remember exactly how long. I don't know if it tails a little over a minute. So we should still have plenty of leaves and plenty of saplings coming in, because of course whenever this thing eats a sapling, it's not going to produce any of the drops that would normally come from it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, let's see, that's going to produce some mana for us. Now let's set up the Gormialises, I guess. Let me just pop over and grab some of this stuff that's over here. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to kind of set up a similar system to what we have over here, where we have the item conduits kind of run out. So we'll go, let's see, we'll just go out this direction here. And we'll say that you can extract always active, and we'll just bring this over hopper setting here. We'll say that you can insert, and that's going to pull out apples, because we don't really have much use for the apples, and we're going to get apples from other sources. Of course, we have them already set up in our farms. So these, I just want this to be a small source of mana that then gets fed down into Gormialises. Let's see, we'll set it up there and there. But that's going to produce some mana for us, and then what we'll do is we'll just set up, a spreader right here that's feeding that mana in, and make sure that these are then bound to that spreader. And then what we'll do is we'll put in an open crate. Actually, I don't know if it's not going to drop right there. Let's do it like that. So that way, whenever apples get made, they can just get dropped here. The Gormialises are going to eat them. There is, once again, a small cooldown period after the Gormialis eats, but it's basically while it's digesting it. And you can see some mana here getting generated. It's not going to be super fast. It's going to be a very small amount of mana. Realistically, a regular living wood spreader would be more than enough. Probably even just one Gormialis would be more than enough. But the second one is basically because when there's food dropped in front of it, the Gormialis is going to eat it regardless of if it's already digesting something or not. However, generally, if there is a Gormialis in range that is not currently digesting, it will pick up before the one that's digesting. And so that second one's basically just in case we get a second apple, it's not wasted on the Gormialis that's already digesting. Some apples may get wasted with this. It's not a really overly refined system, but I'm not worried about it. Just any apples can get sent over to here. Technically, we could have the Hopper Hawk on this hopper, but I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. That way this can just run over and drop that, and this kind of auto filters it. And that's most of the stuff. The only other thing now is the Endo Flames, which this is where most of the power comes from, because we're going to be producing wood with this system. And if we take a look here, which it looks like, yeah, this is all drained on mana right now, which is fine. We're going to get mana running up to this. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up a little system here for our Endo Flames. Let me go grab our other Ender chest. And actually, I think I'm going to want a comparator. We'll get that here in a second, though. But what we're going to do, let's see, there's this mana. You know what? I don't necessarily need all of this, because I just got to thinking, if I just have one spreader insert, that's going to be enough. Since this system, yeah, because see, I built it in my head, and I wasn't planning on it exactly like this. But since the mana rotates around, if we have one insert, there's going to be mana constantly running through this. So we're actually going to pull up all but one of these spreaders. I don't know which one just yet, but we'll figure it out. But basically what I want to do is I want to put a spreader down here. We're going to have a mana pool set up here. This is going to be the spreader that we keep, actually. So really the rest of these can go. And that means that this can go. Wow, this is going to save me a lot of materials, actually. Yeah, so we'll just have this one reading. We don't need the rest of them reading. But to be fair, with my original system, we would have needed it, but yeah, we don't need it for this. So what we're going to do, this mana from the Gormialises and from the Munchdo, they're going to just send over here. And we're going to have a comparator read off of this mana pool. And it's going to go, or actually we're going to move this. We're going to have it send over there. And then we're going to have a comparator that reads off of this, because I am going to want to see how much mana is in this. And so that way we can toggle the Endo Flame, or yeah, the Endo Flame system a little bit. Because I don't necessarily need it generating a ton of mana. I'd rather run it off of the Munchdo and the apples. That way we have more wood backup. But we'll just see what's needed. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a furnace, or a couple furnaces here. And they're going to be setting here and here. We're going to have our Ender chest line. And this is going to be, once again, the brown, white, brown. This is going to be sent the wood, but we're also going to be sending the wood elsewhere, of course. But we want to make sure that this system stays up and running. And so we're going to run conduits here, and we're going to say insert and extract, always active. And then we're going to go, actually, let's do it from here. And so then we'll say insert, and we'll go ahead and clip that off. We'll say extract, and we're going to say round robin enabled right there. So that way it kind of balances out between the furnaces. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run conduits out the bottom of this. So there. And we're going to go ahead and say that you can extract. You can extract. Put our dirt back in. And we're going to go ahead and set up Exo Flames. And what these do is they take mana from like a nearby mana pool, and they use that to allow them to smelt things. And that way the furnaces aren't going to need any fuel. And having 3 of these causes them to be pretty fast. So if you take a look here, they do get a speed boost. as they burn. So it's a little bit faster than a regular furnace. And having 2 of these, we're going to be making charcoal at a pretty good speed. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a resonator from Extra Utilities. And we're going to do something here in just a second. I can already tell this is going to be a 2-part thing, but that's fine. But we're going to take the charcoal from this, and we're going to run it down into this resonator. And we're going to put in 4 speed upgrades just to speed this up. And we're going to create red coal. We've talked about this a bit in previous series, but normal charcoal at 1600 burn time. This is already a 4171 on the burn time, and we're going to increase it. It can go up to a 700% boost. Right now it's only 161% boost. We're actually going to boost it a big amount today, here shortly. So the resonator is going to turn that into red coal, and the reason being, Endo Flames will be able to make use of that. They can make use of up to, I think it's up to the burn time of a block of coal or a block of charcoal, or a little bit over. I can't remember. Can only hold fuel equivalent to that of 4 times a block of coal. So even at 700% efficiency, it's going to be able to make use of the red coal. So that's perfect for us. Then what we're going to do is over here, we're going to set up a open crate just setting right there. And we're going to put in a hopper setting right there. And can I get a pressure plate real quick? We have that setting there. And what we're going to do is we're going to run this up just our redstone like that. Put a block there just to keep that from connecting. And now if we were to throw in some red coal, you can see it stops the hopper after it drops one. That's a really basic starter game Endo Flame system, but down here it's going to work fine because this is all kind of hidden. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up Endo Flames. We could make this visible, of course. I could put the Endo Flames above ground, but and we could even make it really, really clean, but I think I like just having this, just a clean area where all you really see going on is this tree breaking and everything else kind of hidden under the floor. I think I prefer that personally. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put in, let's see, let's do, I think 2 mana spreaders, or even just 1 would probably be fine. We might do 2. We're going to put in a couple Elven mana spreaders. They're going to target downwards. And we're going to set this up like, let's see, that, 6, 7, 8. And these are all going to be going up to that mana spreader, which it looks like they are. That's good. And then we're going to set up 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Just kind of toss these down. We're going to have 8 of these per spreader. I think that's going to be plenty, and I won't really need those potency lenses. I don't need super heavy mana generation here. I just need decent mana gen. Let's actually put this here so it can see a little bit better. Let's go ahead and plug up the item conduits, and these are going to run out. We're going to say insert, and I'm sorry, that's going to be on the red line. And over here we're going to extract on the red line. I'm going to wait for just a second to plug that up, because what we're going to do is we're going to run some redstone up. Let's see. Oh, really, I could just run it up. I'll tell you what, let's actually just do that and connect it over. So once this builds up, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming out from this line. So what we want to do is just a 6 so it doesn't get too crazy with mana generation and leaves plenty of space for, yeah, let's do that. I was going to use a potentiometer, but no, that'll be fine. Having it set to a 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So basically, if there's something on this pressure plate, it's going to shut this down and keep it from dropping. But also, if the mana gets up too high on this, it's going to shut it down. And I don't think that these Endo Flames are close enough that they're going to pick up the wood that's being dropped up here. So if I drop that there, it may eventually, but we'll have to let it run to find out. Because I think that would have been an Endo Flame. Yeah. I think the wood will probably get picked up first. But I don't remember if these work with Boreal Seeds. I'm going to go ahead and use them. I'm going to go ahead and turn it into Mycelium. And we'll find out. Because as long as it has a higher delay than like the Hopper Hawk, it's not really going to matter. But realistically, I don't think it's going to matter anyways. The Hopper Hawk's going to pick it up faster. I don't think it's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things anyways. But we'll let it run. We'll find out. Worst comes to worst, we can make adjustments. So that's going to send up the red coal. That's going to get it back running, making more red coal for us. And that's going to be pretty long burn times. I think these may actually have to get moved over slightly, because I don't think they're going to activate at the moment. Honestly, I think one Elven Mana Spreader could handle all 16 of these, truth be told, but do that. And that's going to build up. You'll see it shutting off the hopper ever so often. Once this has a high enough strength that it comes through, like right now it's not, I think it's just like a 1. Yeah, it's only like a 1 strength. But once this has, what is it, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strength, so a little shy of 50%, then it's going to shut all this off until mana is required for the system. So now if we take a look up here, you can see mana bouncing around. I think everything's probably got plenty of mana. I didn't even think about that. That mana, that's blocking. That's blocking that. Okay, let me fix that real quick. Let me yank that off. And really, I guess what I could do is just bring it up to say here. Even. That should be well out of the way. And then we'll just connect that downwards. Yeah, that's flowing again. Okay, perfect. That's most of that. Now we just got to set up the Agrocarnations. And then I think we're going to be in business, because I think everything else is working great for us. So what we're going to do, we've got some Agrocarnations here. These are going to be laid out. I'm not sure about the size on these. We're about to find out. How many do these cover? If I was to set it right there, that's going to cover... Okay, it's going to cover 4 of the 8 of them. Now, if I had it more centered, it would cover all of them. But that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up Agrocarnation, and 2 Agrocarnations there. And that should be fine for us. Now, I want to connect these... And this is basically what Agrocarnations do, is they're going to speed up all of our growth for the trees and stuff. So that one is connected. So there we go. Now the Agrocarnations are running, and so our trees should be getting grown faster. Now right now, of course, the leaves, there's no fast leaf decay for this, but that's okay. Munch Dews do clear out some of it, and then it's going to decay fast enough. I don't think it's going to matter too much for us. If we take a look at our saplings, how many do we have in here? We have, well, none in there, but how many do we have in the hopper? We have 5 pieces of wood. Could have been wood getting thrown over here. Easy fix for that is just put something on top of this. Honestly, I'm thinking about putting, let's actually do living rock. And that way we shouldn't get any wood in the hopper. But yeah, I think we're about where we started roughly. We'll have to let this run for a while before I know for sure if we're going to be running low on saplings or not. I don't foresee it, to be honest. Generally when I've ran this, I tend to have plenty of saplings, especially once the Agrocarnations come into play. And the reason that is because once the Agrocarnations come down, they increase the speed of this, which means the Munch Dew's eating less trees. You know, we're getting these grown faster than the Munch Dew's getting a chance to eat. Now, why? Oh, I'm blocking. Ooh, okay. I'm actually going to have to break this off. And I'm also going to have to break this one off. That's okay. I can run them out just right next to it like this. And maybe even add a third one in here. So that we kind of corner this out with Agrocarnations. And just kind of keep them low to the ground like that. That's the worst thing. When you got a lot of these fancy blasts going off, you have to watch out and make sure they're not colliding with things. So that's going to get everything running again. Alright, and that is the basic system. You know, like I said, it's not too difficult. You just kind of have to manage. You know, you got a lot of bursts running around. Force relays make this super, super simple to do. And I think overall above ground, I mean, I know below ground it's a little bit messy. It's still pretty clean, I guess. Everything has its spot, and it's not like crazy amount of stuff going everywhere. A little bit tricky getting our Endo Flames set in here, but I think they're doing just fine. Mana's building up in this. We will probably see this shut off before long. It's at a 5 right now, so yeah. It's going to be shutting off here shortly. And then we'll be able to make sure that this gets shut off fine. Let me throw this wood back in here. There you go. And this is going to back up pretty quick. Like right now there's charcoal. It's making the red coal. And right now it's eating through. Of course, it's got to fill up those buffers. And we're going to boost the efficiency. And it's going to make it last even longer than it's currently at. So let's go ahead. Let's switch over for just a second. We're going to go boost the efficiency on this red coal real quick. This is going to be kind of a buffer system. We won't have a lot of wood built up in this until the buffers fill up. But once it does, we'll be producing a fair amount of wood pretty quickly. And I may add a third Agrocarnation to each side just to speed that up a little bit. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to pop over to the storage building. We are going to grab ourselves here. I've only got a few wither skeleton skulls. However, if we pop over to the power building, if you take a look here, we can replicate these. Actually, I think I already have some. I think I already have them replicated over in this area. How much UU matter do we have at the moment? 17, 538. A lot of my power's been going elsewhere, so it hasn't been chugging a ton into replication. But this is all backed up, so. But we're going to go ahead and get that wither skull scanned, because I would like to make a few of those. And while we're waiting, we are going to be making, of course, the dragon egg meal, because we can make 500 GP with it, and no efficiency loss or anything like that with just one of them, and it's super cheap for us at this point. And we're going to go ahead and grab our dragon egg out of here as well, because we're going to use that. We need to get up to the point where we can start manufacturing dragon eggs, but we'll get that before too long. Okay, so let's get our dragon egg meal. So there's everything for our dragon egg meal except for the 2 nether stars. So we'll go ahead and replicate a few of these. We'll just set it to repeat. And I'll just come back here in a second once that's built up. Okay, so there's our wither skeleton skulls. I'm going to leave this running because realistically I need to build up some of those, because we're going to be doing some stuff with nether stars before long. And we're going to go ahead and spawn our wither here in the end, I think. Because why not? It should be pretty easy. I need to put more smite on this, I suppose, but that's fine. This is an easy battle anyways, so there we go. Yay! And you gotta rotate as you attack him. I just hold D and spacebar, and generally you don't get hit. I got hit there for a second because I wasn't spinning, I wasn't rotating, but alright, so there's our 2 nether stars. But we'll go ahead and get our dragon egg meal. Oh yeah, the stone burnt. I got the polished stone, I just never changed it. Okay, so there's our 4 stone burnt, and we're going to make our very first dragon egg meal. Quest complete, GP generation 3. Okay, so we're going to set this up. And now we got the Deep Dark quest completed as well. And that is all the quests. So we're going to set this up. Long term, we're going to have a bunch of these probably. For right now, we're going to set it up probably here. Yeah, like right in there. Because then we'll have some grass and stuff here. We'll put that there. And now we're generating 629 grid power, which is way more than what we need for anything at the moment. But that does mean that if we pop down here and we take a look at our red coal, which this is now shut off because it no longer needs mana, so this isn't running. Beautiful. And if we take a look here, it doesn't look like any of these are running. I don't think they're going to pick up any of the wood. They might. Yeah, it looks like maybe. Yeah, none of these are running. They may not pick up any of the wood. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things either way, truth be told. But we take a look here, and we are now setting at the 700% efficiency boost. So we're now at maximum, and it's going to have a burn time of 12,800 ticks. It's going to burn for a massive amount of time per red coal. Well, it's a little bit less, I guess, than a block of coal. But still, for just one piece of wood, that's going really, really far. Now, like I said, it's going to have to fill up buffers. It's going to have to fill up on red coal before. It's going to have to fill this up, fill this up, fill this up, and then fill up that and that, or that and that. So it's got a little bit of a buffer to fill up. That's fine, because now that it's not running, it's going to build up on red coal really, really fast. Because this, it might burn on occasion. This is more of a safeguard. Honestly, the Munch Dew and the Gormialises are going to be close to, if not enough mana, to run this whole thing almost on their own. So the Munch Dew does generate a lot of mana. Once every minute, it just basically fills itself up and creates quite a few bursts from that. So that should be fine. And that way, basically, the Munch Dew is just so we don't have too many saplings coming in, because, like I said, I think we're going to have like just enough. Yeah, see, we're at a stack 17. So it's a very, very slow increase on saplings, but that way we're generating just a little bit extra mana with that Munch Dew. It's kind of cleaving through some of these leaves once every minute, so that helps. Okay, this has been running for a little bit. I just wanted to go over a couple small changes and details real quick. I did add the third Agrocarnations per side, so we do have 3 of those running. Trees are actually growing pretty fast. You will notice that if a sapling drops on the outskirts of this, it's not picked up. I don't care. I'm not too worried about it. We could put something like a bigger range item collector, and that would work. But personally, I'm not that worried about it. It's a few saplings. It's not going to really impact performance or anything like that. And I did add the floating flowers. I just did purple and yellow around through here and got that all set up. If you take a look inside of here, we have wood built up in here. It's been running excessively well, I must say. And if we pop down here, we do have a frame trap door from Block Craftery, just like we have set up in the main botania area. And that's so that it kind of hides it away there, unless you're just standing on the edge here looking for it. If we pop down here, I did go ahead. You'll notice I set up a hovering hourglass here. This has 5 pieces of sand. Goes into redstone torch, and then it goes into this conduit line, and so does this comparator that reads out of this. And this is set to a 10, so if it goes above a 10, it can emit a redstone signal into this, just to shut off the Gormialis system. Because I decided there's really no point in wasting apples and generating over amounts of mana with it. Now, realistically, with this system, with it running just once every 5 seconds, that's slow enough that we'll never need the second Gormialis unless something happens and it just, maybe there's a some kind of weird tick skip or something where this doesn't process, but the redstone and the hourglass still run. We'll keep it as just kind of to protect us from wasting mana. But honestly, an apple is only like a an eighth of a burst or something. It's really, really slow to actually generate mana, but it's free mana that otherwise I would just be tossing. So, but with this system set up this way, eventually we will back up on apples, and we'll build up apples here just because we can, is the only reason that's set up. If we take a look at the saplings, you will notice that we are generating a net gain over a while, which is good, so we don't have to worry about the saplings there. I think that's the main thing that's changed. This is all backed up with charcoal here, and I was just kind of letting this run while I was editing some footage, and added a couple small things, but it was all pretty basic stuff. And then if we pop over to here, we're actually going to turn this thing on real quick. So if we come up here, you'll notice that I do have an ender chest set up here. This is another brown, white, brown that's connected to the wood line, and we're just going to tell it, and it does have 15 extract speed upgrades just to make this process a little bit faster, though the precision dropper is still a little bit slow. It's not going to drop a ton down. We could do an open crate, but the thing is I don't want to overdrop to where we pass up the redstone, because our buffer isn't that far from max. So honestly, it dropping like this is fine for us. You'll see that this fills up really, really quick. But if you want to see this is actually my first time running it. But you'll notice that it does fill out this kind of bit by bit. Now, with it set up like this, I don't know that it will fill out all of this space before some of it starts changing over, but it's actually not a concern. This is more set up for once this is built up, and then, you know, our living wood's backed up, and then we use a bunch of living wood, then it can quickly refill that living wood and us not be waiting on it. Is kind of the goal of this. And I do think I will probably add like an emerald upgrade to the infused wood, maybe the living wood too, just so we have bigger buffers over here. But we shall see. But right now it's just kind of, I actually kind of like it like this because it's just raining wood. And we're watching it. Yeah, it looks like it's already starting to convert. Yeah. And it's just going to be consistently converting this over. And we can see the wood dropping down and it changing over here. If we had a slightly faster dropping system, we could probably fill this out, but like I said, it's more for once everything backs up. It's a little bit scattered at the moment, but I actually think it looks kind of cool, to be honest. To be perfectly honest. But the builder can handle all this. It can fill this out and break it down like super fast, even with 9 stacks. It shouldn't have any issues at all handling that, so... but yeah, just kind of wanted to pop you guys in to show you once everything is kind of running properly, kind of what we're expecting with this system. At this point, we will never have to worry about living wood again, which is wonderful, and we'll never have to worry about really oak wood or anything like that either, even though I haven't had to worry about oak wood because I do so much tree cutting. It's been things like spruce wood that I tend to be low on for building purposes, but we're going to deal with that before too long as well. So I do need to get void upgrades in both of these, but aside from that, I think the system is done at this point and is all working perfectly for us. Now eventually, once this backs up, the Munchdo may, yeah, because that's at a 9 power right now, so it's coming at it at a 4, which is way more than enough. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, we will probably never need the coal system again. This is more of a safety, like a safeguard, just in case we happen to need the mana. But I mean, it's not even, just with the Munchdo, it's more than enough mana to run our Exo Flames, our Agrocarnations, and everything else going on here. Just a Munchdo. Just a single Munchdo is actually enough, I think, to power this entire system. It's ridiculous how efficient this thing can be. So really, you could cut out most of this and literally have a Munchdo, I think, with this upper part, if you wanted to. But the rest of that's like more just safety. Because in some cases, the Munchdo may not eat a lot of leaves, depending on if there's not a lot of leaves out when its cooldown comes off, because it's pretty much just going to instantly eat Occasionally we'll get a little bit less mana, but if that happens, we have Endo Flames, and we can now, with this mana generation, we can start siphoning some of the mana off from here and using it, elsewhere. We could put another mana spreader, say, well, maybe not right there, but, somewhere. We could put another mana spreader and start siphoning off some of this mana. So, that could be a thing. And I still got to break up these. Yeah, my inventory's empty now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. Also, I want to quickly mention, as you probably know, oak trees can grow extremely tall. But that's why we went up 8 blocks and put the force relays up there, and that stops the trees from growing too tall. So where they have, the branches kind of coming out and stuff, we just want a straight trunk that just goes straight up. So one bit of mana kind of coming up through there is plenty for us. So that's why those aren't going to be growing like super crazy tall for us. So I just wanted to mention that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. There will be a world download coming up before too long. Normally it would be at episode 50, but I am going to postpone it a few episodes because there's a couple things that I do want to get done before the world upload. One of those being a lot of the decoration down on this bottom floor. I do want to get that done because that's kind of what we've been working up to. So I would like to push on to that, which we're going to start into in the next episode. So I want to do that, and I want to do a couple other small projects that we have coming up, but then will be the world download. So it might be somewhere between 50 and 55 as far as episode number. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I'll see you guys then.